media platforms as well. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. It is officially Wednesday at 7 o'clock, and I was inspired to do these lives I'm going to call Successfully Speaking. And I am not going to wait until people join. I just feel like if people are late to the party, that's their loss. So whoever hops on, I'm going to go ahead and get the party started. So for those of you who are joining me live, I like to know who is live. You can go ahead and type live in the comments. Also, if you are catching me at a later time, maybe you didn't know I was going live, maybe you just were doing things because life be lifing and you are catching the replay, I still consider you a rock star. So I want you to go ahead and put replay rock star in the comments. So what are we talking about today and who the heck am I, right? So the first thing that we're going to talk about is your voice visible enough to get paid speaking engagements? Why do I ask that? I have been speaking professionally for the last 9 years as full-time speaker and entrepreneur. I've been in the speaking business or trying to be a professional paid speaker, literally for 19 years. So I know a thing or two about how to attract and close paid speaking engagements. And where I am right now is really kind of entering into a new orbit. I know that people talk about a new level, a new dimension. I'm trying to go to a whole new orbit because sometimes you can take baby steps to your next, and then sometimes you can take quantum leaps. And I'm a quantum leap kind of girl, and that's where I'm going. So, for those of you who are not familiar with me, this is the very first time you're catching me live. My name is Quinn Conyers, and I transform average events into epic experiences as a compelling keynote speaker and energetic MC. How I feed my family, how I put food on the table and clothes on my kids' back is through my mouth. It is my number one money maker. Like I mentioned, I'm a full-time speaker and entrepreneur. And two main things that you need to understand: that there is a difference between being a speaker and running a speaking business. I happen to be both, right? But in order for me to get more speaking engagements, I focus on the speaking side of my business. I've had the pleasure of speaking to all different types of companies and corporations: Nike, Walmart, National Speakers Association, American Association for Endocrinologists, just a bunch of different organizations, Nike, PayPal, Visa, that I've had a chance to work with. And throughout my journey, people always ask me questions. How are you getting these speaking engagements? What are you doing? So I wanted to use this platform as a way to kind of let you in behind the scenes. Lakisa is here. How are you? Tanika is here. Hey, girl. Hey, see that you are here as well. We got Coach Tony in the building right here on Instagram. Happy that you are here. So let's start with the basics. I want to break this conversation up in four separate parts, right? The first part, I took some notes for y'all because I wanted to be prepared. So if you see me looking over to my left or my right, I might be looking at my Instagram, and then I also might be looking over here. But I want to get a temperature check really quickly. How many of you are interested in getting paid speaking engagements for 2024? If that is you, just type paid in the comments. I'm just curious if this topic is something that you want. Do you want to get paid speaking engagements in 2024? Maybe you have been speaking, but you've been getting love offerings or honor, just people blessing you with a chicken dinner and some prayer. And you're like, all right, Quinn, I'm over it. 2024, run me my check. I want money when I speak, right? Like, I'm tired of, can you speak for free? I want to be compensated for my intellectual property. Okay. So I'm just curious to know who that is. So we got Mr. Elvis said he wants to get paid. We also have Lakisa said she wants to get paid as well. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining me on LinkedIn. And a few of you also, too. We got my sister here. She is here as well. So what does it mean? Let's start here. To make your voice visible, or is your voice visible enough to get paid speaking engagements? Now, here is what I've learned, and here's what I mean by voice visibility. In this day and age, there is no reason why, if you are a speaker, you call yourself a speaker, you want to get paid speaking engagements, that your voice is not leaving a online imprint, right? Your voice needs to be visible if you want to get paid speaking engagements. What do I mean by that? That means on your social media pages, on your website, anything online. If somebody is looking for somebody like you to speak at their event, can they see you speaking in action? Is there a YouTube video? Is there a clip? Do you go live on social media? Do you host events on LinkedIn Audio? Is there somewhere that people can actually binge binge on your voice? Can they learn more about your speaking style, your topics? Can they see what type of speaker are you? Are you high energy? Does your whisper hold weight? So you might not have as much energy, but every word you say is packed with a mean punch, right? So my whole thing is it trips me out how people want to get paid to speak, but if I do a quick social media search, I don't see any video, I don't hear your voice at all. So one of the things is make your voice visible. And it doesn't have to be alive. It can be. This is one way that I'm making my voice visible, right? That's just one option. But number two is you can pre-record your videos and do YouTube videos, or I know people who do batch content. Well, they'll go literally and take an hour or two a week and make a bunch of videos giving tips, techniques, and tools in their area of subject matter expertise. And then they'll chop those videos up and they'll post them online. So when I'm talking about making your voice visible, it absolutely positively can be you going live, or it can be also you pre-recording video and posting it as well, or audio. And I'll give you some ideas on how to do that if you're not comfortable or confident maybe going live, if you're not comfortable or confident, pre-recording videos. But the first thing you have to do if you want to get paid speaking engagements is people need to hear you. They need to experience you. They need to be able to connect with you. They need to be able to relate to you. So if you want to become a paid speaker, a paid presenter, and your voice is not visible, how do I know that you're really a speaker? Silence does not cash checks if you want to be a paid speaker. We got Mr. Odell Bazell who just joined. We got my BFF, Miss Corinne Seals in the building. We also got Miss Lucretia Mays who joined on Instagram as well. So that's the one of the things that you need to understand. One of the ways that I really made my voice super visible when the world shut down during the pandemic was an app called Clubhouse. Now, I might be dating myself a little bit, right? Some of y'all know about Clubhouse. Some of you do not know about Clubhouse. So I'm just curious. If you know, or if you were in Clubhouse when it was at its prime, just type Clubhouse in the comments. I made about $25,000 off of Clubhouse. Okay. You know why? Because Clubhouse was an audio only app. You could not fake it. You could not dress it up with AI or Photoshop. You could not piece together your life, right? You had to be super serious. And I remember the DMs. I remember the amount of rooms I was getting invited to speak in because it was audio only. And I was making my voice visible on Clubhouse like my life depended on it because it did. I had to feed these kids and I still needed to bring in income even though the world wasn't shut down. So I was literally giving strategy sessions on how to use Clubhouse as a strategy to bring clients into your business. That was just a very unique way that I used to make my voice visible. And there was no video, it was audio only, right? So when I say that to you, these podcasts are another way to make your voice visible. But if your ultimate goal is to get paid speaking engagements, increase your fee, get paid consistently to speak, some platform needs to make your voice visible. So you have to be intentional and deliberate about how you're showing up so people can feel your energy. People can learn about your subject matter expertise. People can learn a little bit about what you are passionate about, right? Because at the end of the day, what you are excited about, what turns you on, what your experience is in, what your expertise is in, people need to know that. And they just can't read about it. They have to hear it come through your mouth. And I always tell people that your voice is not just the words that come out of your mouth. Your voice is a living, breathing tool that has arms and legs and feet and a heartbeat. And that's what people are connected to, not just the speaker, but the message that comes out of the speaker. And a lot of times I feel like people want to get paid to speak, but when I do that quick background check online of them to see exactly what are they speaking about, there's nothing there. So at the end of the day, what you have to understand, Julia, hey, Misty, happy to see you. What you have to understand is you have to make your voice visible. That's number one. Number two, is your voice visible enough to get paid speaking engagements? Well, I want to talk about a little bit about why it matters, right? The reason why you have to make your voice visible in this day and age is because speaking is becoming new sexy. You don't have to get a degree in speaking. There's no certification. Anybody can wake up and say, I'm a speaker, right? So there's no barrier to entry. So if an event planner is looking to pay you $5,000, $10,000, whatever amount of money that you want to be paid to speak, they want to make sure that you actually are speaking. You'll be surprised when people say that they're a speaker, but there's no footage, there's no audio, there's no video, there's no images of you speaking. So it matters, because if event planners contact you and they want to do business with you, they want to see your speaking footprint that you have left, and sometimes it could be past speaking engagements, but it could be as simple as, how are you using the social media? We are literally walking around in 2024 with a stage in our hand. I call a cell phone. So at any point in time, you can go live on Facebook, you can go live on LinkedIn, you can go live on Instagram, you can go live on YouTube. I'm live on all platforms right now, right? So what happens is, when people are looking to hire someone with your caliber of expertise, they want to make sure that they are the client that's not the guinea pig. They don't want to be the first person that hires you. They want to see that you have a track record. So every single time that you're speaking, every single time that you're going live, that is an indicator and a checkbox that this person is doing what they say they're doing. They say that they're a speaker, and I can clearly see signs of them speaking. And when I'm talking about voice visibility, I'm not just talking about audio or video. Where is your pictures as well? If I see you on the stage with a microphone in your hand and I can clearly see an audience, I'm also seeing that you're a speaker. That is another way for you to make your voice visible, right? So you have to understand that if you want to get paid speaking engagements, voice visibility is not a nice to have. It is a requirement in order for you to attract certain opportunities. Now, there's different layers and levels, right? Like, I am in the process of raising my speaking fee, right? And I am a member of a couple different organizations. National Speakers Association is one of them. And I posted, what are you doing? Because I want to know, if you're speaking at the $15,000, level, your keynote fee is $20,000, $25,000. How are you finding these opportunities? Is it the same as if you're going after 5,000 or 10,000? Because I want to make sure my voice is visible. So if somebody has a $20,000 check and it's in my area of expertise, guess what? I need to know where they are looking for people like me so they can write my check on that name. Right? Like, I think you understand what I'm saying. So at different levels, you got to ask yourself, what is the requirement? And if people are looking to hire a $5,000 speaker, am I there where they're looking, right? If somebody's looking to, if an event planner has $40,000 and need to hire 2 or 3 speakers, are you visible where they're looking? Or are you visible at the places that people don't have a budget at all, or they just don't understand the speaking business, right? So you want to make sure that if you want to get paid speaking engagements, number one, understanding what I mean by voice visibility. And that's just making sure that if somebody searches your website, somebody searches your social media page, that there is some evidence of you speaking, a picture, a photo, an image, a video, a live, an audio, right? Something that shows your voice, right? So I talked about, what does it mean to make your voice visible to get paid speaking engagements. I also talked about why it matters. I can tell you that 10 times out of 10, by the time somebody gets me on the phone, after they have filled out my pre-event questionnaire, they have already told me, I watched a bunch of your videos, Quinn. I checked you out. I went down a rabbit hole on your LinkedIn page. So they're searching. So people are not calling you and they're not reaching out. It's because when they're doing that digital background check, they see that your voice is not visible. Matter of fact, your voice is muted. Your voice is silent. Your voice is muzzled. So they're going to go to the next, because they don't have time to be playing around with you and their audience. They want to make sure whoever they bring in to speak to their audience has experience and expertise speaking in the subject matter that they say that they're an expert in. And you want to make sure that when they go down that rabbit hole, that they see evidence of you speaking. Now, how do we do this, right? Obvious reasons, and I'm going to give you not so obvious, right? Number one is going live, right? Obviously, you have this platform. You can go live on any social media platform that you want. Number two is, you can also, when you do speak, always get the footage of you speaking. And then you can either have somebody from Fiverr, Upwork, you could do it yourself. There's a whole bunch of different AI tools that you can actually input that 30-minute talk, input that 60-minute talk, and it would chop it up for you. And then you can take that content and repurpose that on your social media, and that way people can still see you being visible. people can still hear you and they can also see you on stage. So when you are speaking, whether it's paid or not paid, because that is a whole strategy. If you want to ultimately get paid speaking engagements, there are certain things that you have to have. And one of that is footage, right? So no matter if you're getting paid or if you're not getting paid to speak, you want to make sure that every time you do speak, you get a copy of it. And then either you can hire somebody on Upwork or Fiverr, a social media manager, and there's a bunch of AI tools that you can actually take, upload that 30-minute presentation, and they will literally cut it up for you and you can repurpose. Repurposing your speeches is a way to make your voice visible on your platform. Does that make sense? Are you repurposing? Like, I'm just curious. If you are currently repurposing some of your speeches, just type me in the comments. If you are not, just say, I'm working on it, Quinn. I'm working on it, right? Because this could be a brand new tip. Maybe you never thought to do that, right? So even let's say, for example, you're not getting paid what you want yet and you're speaking for free. When you speak for free, you still need to ask for that footage so you can then cut it up, repurpose it, and make your voice visible, right? So again, you can make your voice visible to attract more paid speaking engagements by number one, going live. Number two, you can actually do pre-recorded videos where you give tips, tools, and techniques in your subject matter expertise, and you can post that on any of your social media platforms, right? You can do that. Also, too, repurposing is my favorite thing. So if you have ever been interviewed on a podcast, type podcast in the comments, right? So I see that Tanika is working on it. We got YB, the LinkedIn locksmith, who just joined us as well. We got Miss Lakeisha Jean, who was on here. We got Miss Sandra as well. I'm so happy that you are here. And yes, successful and surrounded. I'm so happy that you're here as well. Okay. So what do I mean by repurposing? All right, Miss Colette, I got you. I'm about to explain it to you, right? So if you've ever been interviewed on a podcast, type podcast. I see you typing it, right? Here's what you need to do. After you get done with that podcast interview, I know this because I had one this morning at 9 o'clock and I asked for it. You need to ask for a copy of that podcast. Okay. Now, what you need to do is same thing. You repurpose that content. 10 times out of 10, the podcast interview is asking you about your experience, your expertise. You take that podcast interview. Let's say it's 30 minutes. You get somebody from Fiverr or Upwork or any of these other freelance websites, and then you can actually use clips of the podcast to make your voice visible. So let's say the person asked you a question, you had a really meaty, juicy answer. You can take that answer that might be a minute and 17 seconds, and you can post that on your social media. So now you become a speaker and you also become a thought leader, and that's a way for you to make your voice visible. Okay. So what I mean by repurposing is taking past podcast interviews, past speaking engagements, and cutting it up and reusing that and posting that on your social media platforms. Okay. Because at the end of the day, that is what planners are looking at as well. One of the things, right? It's not all the things, it's one of the things that they're looking at. People want to see that you are a speaker in these speaker streets. And if they want to hire you, they will at least want to see that you are credible and you are who you say you are. So when you do a podcast interview, it's not just about doing the podcast interview. It's about you getting that footage and repurposing it and you dripping that content out to show the world, especially event planners who could want to book you, that you are a subject matter expert in that particular field. Right? So from this point forward, the next time you do a podcast, you don't do a podcast and you leave. Not only do you say thank you, you ask for a copy of that podcast and then you take it and then you have somebody cut it up and you repurpose that content. And now your voice is visible online when you're sleeping, when you're doing another podcast, when you are off and you are speaking to somebody else. You could be taking a nap. You could be on vacation and now your voice is still visible and you can come back to speaking requests and speaking opportunities because they heard you. They saw you. Do you know people said to me, oh my gosh, what was it? The Campfire podcast? I can't remember. I did a Campfire podcast. Oh my gosh, it was one of the best podcasts ever. And I didn't even chop it up like that. She chopped it up and was using it as promo, and I got a lot of business because of that, right? So Tanika said, yes. Matter of fact, I think I just saw you, Tanika. Didn't you do a podcast interview with Sterling? Yes. Ask Sterling for a copy of that podcast and go back, you know what I mean, and cut that thing up. And that way you can be more visible to attract more opportunity. All right. So, what is another way that you can repurpose, right? Another way that you can repurpose is when you are speaking, making sure that you're taking pictures as well, right? And also, too, you can make your voice visible by posting other people's testimonials. So, if you're getting paid, if you're not getting paid right now, every single time you speak, you should be capturing testimonials. I'm super excited. I have leveraged LinkedIn. Shout out to Rob YB, who have showed me how to really leverage LinkedIn. I have over 165 LinkedIn recommendations. And these are all people talking about how I was a great MC, how I was a great speaker, how I work with them on their verbal business card, wherever. So guess what? They're talking about my voice, right? So every now and then I will pull a testimonial off of LinkedIn and I will highlight it on my social media to show other people what people are saying about me and my speaking style, right? I said it before and I'll say it again. If you want to get paid speaking engagements, there's a huge difference between being a great speaker and running a speaking business. What I'm teaching you right now is how to run a speaking business, right? So if you want to get paid speaking engagements, there are things that you have to do. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but being a great speaker and having a story you want to tell or wanting to change the world with your message is not enough to get consistent paid speaking engagements. There are certain things that you must do consistently. And one of those things is showing up and speaking. If nobody's paying you, guess what? Your phone is your platform. If somebody else doesn't have, right now bringing in speakers, they don't have a budget, guess what? Facebook Live can be your platform. Instagram can be your platform. YouTube can be your platform. Do you know how many people are literally getting paid millions of dollars off of doing YouTube videos? Guess what? YouTube has become their stage. So in this point in time, either you're playing or you're not serious if your voice isn't visible, because it takes nothing for you to turn that camera around and start literally giving some tips and tools and gems on your area of expertise and making your voice visible. Okay. So last question. Does this make sense so far? Is this beneficial? Just type yes, no. Am I on the right page? I want to make sure that when I do this content that it makes sense. And guess what? You'll probably see this. You will probably see this repurposed. So I'm going to give you a tip right now. So right now I am using StreamYard. On StreamYard, I am live on 4 platforms. I'm live in my Facebook group for Speak Black Woman. I'm live on my Facebook page. I'm live on LinkedIn, and I'm also live on YouTube. For whatever reason, they say Instagram, you can go live on StreamYard, but it's not working for me. So I'm live on my phone on Instagram. If you have a StreamYard account, they do have a free account, and then they have accounts that you can pay. Once this live is over that I'm doing, you can download the video and the audio, right? I have a business manager who I work with. I called T today. I said, T, I need you to go into StreamYard. I did a live last week. I'm doing a live this week. I want you to download both the video and audio, and I want you to use that AI tool. I don't even know what it is. She does it for me, right? And I want you to go ahead and cut up this live so we can repurpose this and we can make this some video that I'm going to post again, because I be in a flow. I don't even know what I be saying sometimes, but I know it be coming out. So what I want to do is take this particular live using a tool called StreamYard. And now when this live is over, we're going to cut it up and I'm going to repurpose it. I'm going to put certain clips. So I'm going to go about 30 minutes here, but of this 30 minutes, I can get anywhere from 10 to 12 good speaking nuggets or good tips that I'm using right now to you. But then if somebody didn't catch it live, they don't know who I am, they happen to stumble across my page, now they can still get a nugget on how to make their voice visible and get paid speaking engagements. So in real time, I just gave y'all a strategy. So if you don't have StreamYard, get yourself a StreamYard account, and then you can add as many accounts as you want. And then when you're done, download that StreamYard video and have somebody from Fiverr or Upwork cut that up, or use one of these AI generated tools, put the video in, it will cut it up for you and give you captions, y'all. Like, this is what we're going to use. So we're going to work smarter and not harder in 2024. All right. So What is the best platform, right? Like Quinn, oh my gosh, should I go live on Facebook? Should I go live on Instagram? Should I go live on LinkedIn? Should I go live on YouTube, right? What is the best platform to go live to make my voice visible and to get paid speaking engagements, right? Like, where is the best one, right? I heard LinkedIn is where it's at. Oh, no, 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 no. I heard TikTok is where it's at. Oh, no, TikTok is dead. I heard that Instagram is where it's at. I'm going to tell you like this. You go where you are most comfortable and confident in, and you know that your target client is there. Right. So, technically, for the most part, I'm on live on all these platforms. But if LinkedIn stresses you out, go live on Facebook. Right. Like, there's money everywhere. People get so caught up on what is the best platform for me to make my voice visible. I always say this: own at least one platform and rent out the other ones. So if you know that your best platform is TikTok, or your best platform is Instagram, go live on Instagram all the time and maybe record some other videos for the other platforms. But it really doesn't matter. Right. I think what matters is, are you visible? Are you going live? Are you posting video? Are you taking that podcast interview, cutting it up and repurposing it? Right. Because at this day and age, you can literally schedule that and it can go to all those platforms. So it's not about the platform, it's about your execution. It's about your consistency. It's about you being deliberate. It's about you showing up consistently and giving your thought process, your intellectual property. I'm not the only one talking about getting paid speaking engagements. I know this for a fact. However, I am one of the few who show up consistently. There's not a day that you won't see me, hear me, or experience me. I might not be live, but you're going to get a post. I might post what I call a Q-tip. I posted something, I think right before the new year, talking about, I believe that in 2024, everyone or every woman should add speaking as their second strongest income stream to their business. That was voice visibility. You might not have heard me, but you read me, you saw me, right? So when it comes to getting paid speaking engagement, you can't be muted, you can't be muzzled, you can't be silenced, right? Like, people always say a closed mouth don't get fed, and that's absolutely the truth. So if your ultimate goal is to get paid speaking engagements, but you haven't posted a live video, you haven't posted a picture of you speaking, you haven't took a podcast video and cut it up, like, how do we know that you're a real speaker? And why would we pay you if we don't see evidence of your voice? Right? So sometimes it's not about being this prolific speaker. It's about showing up. I forget who says this, so forgive me. I like to quote the right people, that sometimes it's not about ability, it's about visibility, who gets the speaking engagements. So I know, I'm a good speaker. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and be humble, like, oh, no, I'm okay. No, there's good speakers, there's great speakers, and then there's grand speakers. And I, Quinn Conyers, like to put myself in the grand category. However, there are people who are grander. There are people who've been in the business longer. However, what makes me different and unique is I show up, y'all. I am visible. I am not quiet online. I am not quiet on stage. I am not quiet when it comes to running this as a business. I have understood that part of this assignment that I have, right? I am very crystal clear that I'm on this earth to leave a legacy with my language and change the world with my words. And I can't do that by being quiet. I can't do that by being silenced. I can't do it because, oh, right now I don't have any makeup on. It is what it is, y'all. I ain't got nothing. I got gloss. That's it. I ain't got no foundation. But guess what? I still decided that I was going live. I didn't say, you know what, y'all, listen, it's one of those days, my head is looking crazy. I put on some hoops for y'all. I put these little braids to the side and I'm visible, right? That's all I got. So sometimes I think that we need to address what's holding us back from being visible. Your nails ain't always going to be done. Your eyebrows always are not going to be arched, right? Your face is not going to be fully beat. I'm talking about the women, right? But what is going to matter is, can people hear your energy? Can they feel your passion? Can they tell that you know that you're stuck? Thank you, Miss Sandra. Listen, y'all. Look, I just turned, this is my green juice. One of the things that help my skin. I drink a lot of green juice. I be juicing and drinking green smoothies with cucumber and what's in this one? Cucumber, pineapple, celery, and ginger, right? So my whole thing is, because I don't want to look like a monster. Like, at the end of the day, when the makeup comes off, this is what it looks like, right? Now I can put on a face, right? But I also like to be very intentional about making my voice visible. And sometimes your voice isn't always the prettiest thing. Sometimes your voice is raw, sometimes it's rough, sometimes your voice is soft, sometimes it's loud. But either way, if you want to get paid speaking engagements, your voice has to be visible. Gone are the days where you are the best kept secret. I know people for years who ran their business off of word of mouth, meaning what Ashley said about me, what YB said about me, what Hey Tiff said about me would get me more paid speaking engagements. Those days are gone. Right now, if event planners have $10,000 or $15,000, they are doing a digital background check. They are looking, they are Googling motivational speakers, speakers in customer service, leadership speakers for women, right? And if you are visible and you are using those words, guess whose profile is going to pop up? You know, people found me off of Google. Do you know how many people found me off of LinkedIn? And it's not because my website was the best. It was because I was visible, that there was video of me. There was content out there. I have been consistently making my voice visible over and over again because I know that that is a strategy to get me more speaking engagements. So if you are serious, I'm gonna stop real quick. Who's serious? If you are serious about getting paid speaking engagements in 2024, just put serious in the comments because I'm going to give you the tea, right? I'm going to tell you what you need to do, right? So and let me know if you're serious. Miss Ashley is super serious. She says, come on, this is brilliant. I'm downloading one of my videos for my virtual speaking engagement right now. That's what I'm talking about, Ashley. Instant execution, virtual speaking engagements. Man, you download that thing, you cut it up, you repurpose that. That's you making your voice visible. Okay. So Sandra says, I think I met at the beginning of Clubhouse and you bought so much value on loving the energy. Yes, I was in these Clubhouse streets, right? I absolutely was. So you probably did meet us there. So Jillian says she's serious. Miss Colette says she is serious. YB said he's serious. I'm signing up right now for StreamYard. Perfect. So this is what you need to do. If you're serious and you want to get paid speaking engagements, you have to make your voice visible. For those of you who are just joining me right now, again, my name is Quinn Conyers, and I have been a paid professional speaker for the last 9 years full time. And I am giving you some tips, some tricks, and some techniques to get paid speaking engagements in 2024. Speaking, being an entrepreneur is my only source of income. I do not have a 9 to 5. This is how I feed my family, so I put food on the table. So I'm giving you some behind the scenes on what I do to attract and close paid speaking engagements. And there's a couple different ways that you can do this. There are so many ways to skin a speaking cat. But today I'm talking about if you want to attract and get these paid speaking engagements, your voice has to be visible. What do I mean by has to be visible? You have to make sure that there are speaking clips of you out there. You're going live on social media. There's images of you on stage. You can either use testimonials from other people so they can show others who might want to hire you how they experienced your voice. But what I want you to understand that you being the best kept secret is not serving anyone and is definitely not serving your bank account or your pockets. So you want to make sure that if you want to get paid speaking engagements, that you have to make your voice visible. How do you do that? You go live on social media. Once you go live, you can also repurpose some of your videos. If you are getting podcast interviews, if you're speaking on panel discussions, if you are speaking at conferences and summits, you always ask for a copy of the video. After you have the copy of the video, you can literally use a app like StreamYard, or you can actually even use Fiverr, or you can go to Upwork and get somebody to cut up that video. After they cut those video ups, I would say 2 minutes or less, you can go ahead and you can repurpose that on your social media. At the end of the day, speakers speak. We do not wait for stages to speak. We create our own stage. Right now, I am live in StreamYard. I already shared what I'm going to do. You're going to see this again, right? I'm live in StreamYard. When I'm done with StreamYard, this option will give me the option to literally download this live in a video format and an audio format. T, who is my business manager, is going to take the video and the audio, use one of those AI apps, and she's going to break this up and we're going to repurpose this content. Why does this matter? Because you want to make sure if event planners who have the money to pay you do a digital background check, that they see evidence of you speaking as if you said you were a speaker, All right. Well, we are past time, y'all. I said I was going to try to keep y'all until 7:30, but y'all got me fired up. All right. So Miss Regina, hey girl, hey, I splice and dice all my videos. Come on, splice and dicer. I love it. Yes, love Quinn Coach. You owe me a verbal business card. Yes, I did. So good to see you. Happy New Year for those of you who I did not see before. So Sandra says being a paid speaker is her dream job. Sis, we can make that a reality. You can do this. You just need some evidence. And part of what I do is, I'm speaking and emceeing on different stages, but I'm also really passionate about positioning and also preparing other people who want to step into the speaking business. Many people just think that they have a message and they want to go straight to the stage. There's so many steps in between. So if you are interested in becoming a paid and powerful speaker in 2024, the tip for tonight is to make your voice visible. I need to see images, video, and hear you on all your social media platforms. That way you are proving that you are a speaker. Okay. So Miss Colette says, Quinn, thank you so much. What a gift. I need to run. Please keep me posted for your next live talk. So next week, I will not be live. Why? Because I'm speaking, y'all. I have a speaking engagement, so I will not be live. Maybe I'll go live on Tuesday, but next week, I will not be live on Wednesday because I do have a training I'll be doing from 6 to 8. However, you will see some of that training. Maybe I'll go live there for like a second if I can. But I will be going live for the most part Wednesdays at 7 o'clock. Also, just be on the lookout. I will be having an upcoming challenge, how to become a paid and powerful speaker in 2024, where I'll take a little bit of a deeper dive into what I'm doing live right now. If you thought this live was amazing and we're not already connected, make sure you send me a connection request on any platform or send me a follow. But more importantly, if there's another topic that you want me to discuss around getting paid speaking engagements, shoot me a DM and I will try my best to cover that in one of my upcoming lives. Again, I thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you. My goal for you in 2024 is to make sure that your voice, matter of fact, your mouth is one of your number one money makers in your business. Until then, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.